What is going on, everybody? My name is MastoW, and welcome to the third episode of the CoLD Community CSGO RP tutorials. In this episode, we're going to be going over housing and house prices, stuff like that. The basic reasons why certain apartments are listed at what they're listed at. So first, we're going to start in this. Hold up. Okay, we're gonna just get this out. So first we're gonna start in Wizard Leasing. In this building, the apartments go for 12K to 18.5K, and there's one door to the apartment. There's not a lot to it. They're very small, they're very cheap too, so they're very good for starter apps. If you don't have a lot of money to work with, because you start with 10K, then you accumulate 2K with whatever means necessary. You can buy a Wizard Leasing apartment. Second on the list would be the Ghetto Apps, right here. Very nice circle. They go from 15 to 20K. I think they have 16.5 and 18.5K in the middle for varying sizes and placement in the Ghetto Apps. The Ghetto Apps are very large, big building, lots of apartments, very cheap, and I own one right now, very reliable. The next one on the tier list is the Level Apps. The special thing about the Level Apps would be the fact that the price changes as you climb higher and higher in the building. So at the bottom of the Level Apps, the apartment prices go for 20K. As you go up, 23K, I think then 26.5K, 28.5, and then 30K. So there's 5 floors to the building, all with the same, basically, apartments, so the lower ones are cheaper. Next up, we have the Counter Apps. The reason it has its name, Counter Apps, is because in each apartment, except for certain ones, there is just a kitchen counter. It's very unusual, but that's why they're called the Counter Apps. Now, the Counter Apps with a counter inside of them go for 45K, so a bit pricey. Not very large, but larger than your Level Apps, so they're very worthwhile to buy. But if you want to buy one without a counter, they go for 28.5K. Now on to the Uptown Apps. These are the first apartments, some of them in the Uptown Apartments building are the first to have 2 doors. Now there are apartments in the Uptown Apps building that only have 1 door, which are still pretty well sized. They're priced at 45K for the ones with 1 door, but with 2 doors they go for 55 to 60K. In the apartment, so not a huge price difference for an extra door, which you get access to both doors if you buy the 1 door, which has the price listed on it. Next up, we have the VIP apps. Now these ones are kind of a different story. You kind of get 2 doors because there is a balcony. So what you get, first off, they go for 100K for 1 door, which you use to enter the building or your room. And then there's a balcony door, which I guess counts as another door, but it's kind of on a different side. I don't know really how to put it. So 1 door and a balcony door, so 2 different exits basically, for 100K. The Ghetto Suite. Now this isn't included, but there's a room right here. Big empty 1 door room for 200K. It's really big. You can probably fit 4 people well in there, probably even more if I'm being honest. Big room, thought about buying it. At the moment I'm saving up for the next apartment on our list, but this one definitely is a cool spot in the ghetto. Nothing wrong with it. There's only 1 of them though. If next up is the Luxury Apps, right about here, which goes for 250K for 2 doors and a full kitchen, I guess. There's enough furniture in there to basically be a kitchen, kind of just an added bonus. There is a bathtub too. So, you know, if you're planning a drug plant, you can put it in the bathtub. All right, next up on the list is the mill house. The mill house is there's only one of its kind, so there's only one ghetto suite and there's only one mill house. Now the mill house, as its name implies, goes for 1 million. However, the number of doors is unknown because the doors are locked. Thank you, sides. For whatever reason, when the house was sold, the doors weren't unlocked, so now the doors are still locked, and I don't think anyone wants to go and buy lock breakers just to find out how many doors there are in the house. So there's estimated to be 3 doors, maybe more, but it goes for $1 million. It's a pretty big house. I'm not sure how worthwhile it is, though. And finally on our list is the mansions. The mansions go for 5 million, and that sounds like a lot in comparison to the rest of the apartments on this list. However, you do get 7 doors and like a porch area back here. Not sure, I would kind of count that as a separate exit. So you get 8 total doors, 8 total moving doors. Totally worth it. If you get 5 million, these things have so many separate rooms. It's got a basement, it's got an upstairs, it's got a middle floor, it's got a kitchen, it's got a deck, porch, whatever you want to call it. Very worth it. So that's going to wrap up the house tutorial, or the house pricing tutorial for the CoLD Community CSGO RP tutorial episode 3. I hope you enjoyed and stay tuned.